What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Scream Thriller. And, well, actually, not, not think about it. Yeah, we're in October right now, October 1st. So, I guess you could say I am back to being the Natural Born Thriller, but except because this is Halloween, and I thought to myself, it's the Natural Scary Thriller. Yeah. But welcome everyone to All Elite Wrestling Review, or should I say, All Elite Wrestling Reviews, where it's going to give you AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage results. For the very first time, I'll give you Dynamite and Rampage results all together. And why is it going to be for that one? Because this was about AEW in Queens, New York, being in Arthur Ashe Stadium, where it tends to AEW Grand Slam 2021. And I was a part of that too. For those who already know, that's seen my vlogs. But where it tends to AEW Dynamite, which I'm going to start with, obviously. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam 2021 results show from September 22nd, 2021, with your commentators Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and good old Gerald John Ross at Queens, New York, Arthur Ashe Stadium, with the attendance. First of all, let me pull up the Wikipedia of it. Even though the attendance records was a big number, so let me just pull it up here, because it was a huge deal, pertains to that. Yes, here we go. The attendance of 20,177 AEW fans in attendance, and tagline was "for the first time ever," which is very true, because for the first time ever in New York. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that last year because the pandemic prevented that happening. But this is a way to repay it. A year and a half ago. A year and a half later, I meant to say. But under the promotion of All Elite Wrestling, and I was so excited to be part of this show, folks. I'll get to a little more about how I felt of my experience too of it, after Dynamite, and then versus Rampage. I'll do the same thing with that too, and then after that I'll talk about the whole thing about Owen Hart, about what AEW is doing with Owen Hart, because with Martha Hart and the Owen Hart Foundation and partners and all that, and that'll be all saved for last, because the main event is gonna be about Owen Hart, for me, for this video itself, and I'll get to something where it tends to something that I don't really like talking about on here, where it tends to the drama, but I'm gonna do that anyways because it needs to be said. But we'll get to that. So yeah, all that will be saved once we get to it. So that being said, let's get to also the ring announcer was Justin Roberts. You had your referees like Aubrey Edwards, Bryce Ramsberg, Paul Turner, Rick Knox. Your interviewers were Alex Marvez, which we'll get to a little bit more of that, which is on Rampage, Mark Henry, and Tony Schiavone, especially with Mark Henry for Rampage as well, but also Tony Schiavone also done some interviewing as well. I believe it was on Rampage as well. I don't recall if he did anything on Dynamite. And it's for me to say, because I was at the show and I watched it twice, on TV too, by the way. So yeah, but besides that, let's get to what happened here on these shows. Starting off, first of all, there were some dark matches. Obviously they are, because it's AEW Dark Elevations too, by the way. I'll get that way out of the way first. They did that first. They had 3 matches set up. Where it tends to what happened on AEW Dark Elevation. You had Thunder Rosa going up against Kayla Sparks. Don't know who she is, but I thought she was decent for what she was. But Thunder Rosa obviously won the match. You had Paul White defeating RSP, CPA, and VSK in a 3-on-1 handicap match, with the Gun Club being out there. And basically, the Gun Club of Billy Gunn, Colton Gunn and Austin Gunn. They were just there, just watching everything while Paul White did his thing. And then we had the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds, John Silver, 10, 5, going up against, and basically defeating, by the way, Dean Alexander, Kevin Tibbs, TJ Crawford, and Eric James. We're chasing all these 3 matches. I thought the Dark Order match was a lot of fun. Thunder Rosa was a decent match, and Paul White's match was whatever. That was fun. It was fun though. We all had fun, especially with Paul White doing the whole thing of shh, and then to their opponent's chest. That's great. But with that out of the way, now let's get to the show itself. So AEW Dynamite, they opened up the show surprisingly, which I couldn't believe they opened the show with this one, of Kenny Omega being coming by Don Callis versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And speaking of which, yes. Do I agree this should have been an opener? No. I think this should not have been an opener. But either way, despite taste of that, I still enjoy the match for what it was. Could it still have been in the main event? Yes, this should have been the main event and the opener. What could have been the opener of this match? If they would have just had it be an opener, I would have maybe Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes open up the show, and then you could done the rest of the cards were MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr., and then Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR, or maybe you could have it's a matter of fact, Dr. Britt Baker DMD and Jimmy not Jimmy Haver, Ruby Soho being the third card, and then the fourth card could have been Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR. Then we could have done Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson as the main event. So, but they didn't do that. But hey, it's whatever though. Basically, if it was me, I would have done that way. Especially what happened on Rampage 2, which we'll get to that too, and when we get to that part of it, pertains to another segment of the match card, which I didn't agree with the opener, which we'll get to when we get to it. But I digress. As far as the match with Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, and this was a non-title match. And the bell rang. You got the crowds, even me, part of that crowd, going nuts. And these guys didn't even touch yet. The match started and all that, and we're already enjoying this match. And Bryan Danielson had a smile on his face, like he always have before. But this is a different type of smile that he had. This is what the smile that he's been looking for the entire time. And we get this match between these two guys, and this was by far one of Kenny Omega's best matches since his days in Ring of Honor, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I have to say. And Bryan Danielson is a magician, and that's why I am a proud Bryan Danielson fan. Even during his time in WWE, where he's trying to have these type of best quality matches with his opponents too, especially with a piece of trash like John Cena. Fuck John Cena, by the way. Just saying. Hell, Bryan Danielson, man, he knows how to get it done. We basically see the entire stuff that Bryan Danielson can do in this match. Because there's a lot that he could have done. That we know of him doing a lot. We're trying to get everything in this match, but that's not what it was. It was all about showcasing that Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, basically taking Kenny Omega to the limit, to what could have been by far one of his best matches, like I said already. And this was indeed a great match. Opener was a great match. It was just pretty damn good, and there was no commercials until we we only had one commercial that happened, but it's represents people watching on TV, but throughout it all, there was no commercials until we got to that one part. We got commercial, which was it was needed, and then finally we get to a part where how's this match gonna end? Because you got Bryan Danielson coming in, we can't have him lose in his first match. And you got the AEW World Champion. You don't want him to have the champion look bad of losing a one-on-one match. because guess what? Where it tends to this type of booking, if you're the champion in a one-on-one match when the title's not on the line, you should not be losing. WWE. Just saying. So, in this match, where they're fighting and all that, and they start doing strikes at each other from one another, and then a time limit draw. So basically, the match was a 30-minute time limit. I believe, yes, it was a 30-minute time limit. But it was still, and they still kept it going. Bryan Danielson trying to get Kamika into the LeBell lock, and he does. Until the Elite came out, which is Young Bucks. Alan Cole came out as well. And then they give a double super kick to Bryan Danielson. I can't remember if Alan Cole did it too, if he did or not. Basically, yeah, it's a super kick party. And also Rhea Dressler Express and Christian Cage come out for the save, and then the Elite leaves. So I'm guessing that Alan Cole was also part of it too. It's easy for me to say because I was there. But yeah. Besides that, that was it, and I'll leave pertains to the match that's gonna happen with Dressler Express versus the Super Click on Rampage, which we'll get to. Then we got CM Punk coming out to a humongous ovation, and a sing along happened too, and that was part of that too, and basically runs down Team Taz, says that half of Team Taz is from New York, but even they don't like them. Pertains to us don't like Team Taz. Punk tells about Team Taz attacking him. Where since the whole thing with the table or not going through, and he did mention that too, by the way. He says that he's pissed off about it, but when his theme music hit, when he walks out on the stage, he can't help but help that pissed off feeling going away because of what he feels from the crowd. Says that then he thinks about how they try to to take him out, take away all this from him. And because they don't want to see happy CM Punk out there enjoying wrestling and the fans again, he says then he gets pissed off all over again because it's been so long since he loved a person again. Punk gets fired up at this point, says that no one will take this away from me again, and says that Team Taz have slept on him, but his job isn't to wake them up, to tuck their asses in. Tuck their asses in. Says that on Rampage, Powerhouse Hobbs goes to sleep, and that was it. Great promo for CM Punk, and I could say it better than myself. Or to see what CM Punk said there. So, but yeah, it was great. It was a great promo there for CM Punk. Before we get to what happened next, let me see if there's any minor notes here. Nope. Okay, let's move on to the next match. It was MJF being acclaimed by Wardlow versus Brian Pillman Jr. being acclaimed by Julia Hart. 9 minutes and 20 seconds it lasted, and the match itself was pretty decent. But hey, it gave Brian Pillman Jr. TV time, and to be in front of these capacity crowds, and the restaurant in New York City, which I enjoy. Love seeing Brian Pillman Jr. There will come a time that Brian Pillman Jr. will be a big name in AEW. Right now, it's a slow process, and he'll get there. MJF was being a prick in this match against Brian Pillman Jr. Even to the point where he had Julia Hart in front of him to use as a shield, because Brian Pillman Jr. was trying to go for some aerial attack, whatever he's going to do, but that didn't happen. But then Julia Hart got in the face of MJF. MJF, she kissed me, whoever. She slaps him, grabs her by the hand on the wrist, and he was basically mouthing her. And Brian Pillman Jr. out of nowhere with a sliding baseball kick, drop kick in a way that that kind of like how Jeff Hardy does it, kind of how Jeff Hardy does it. But all of a sudden he goes for his finishing, the air Pillman, but MJ countered it into the salt of the earth, which is Fujiwara armbar and Brian Pillman Jr. And that was the match psychology. That was Brian Pillman Jr.'s work on the his arm was being worked on by MJ, I meant to say. And Wardlow didn't have to get involved. He was just standing there, just being the bodyguard that he is. Or in a way, how the MJF said, stand there and look pretty, right? But yeah, in the end, MJF got the win, which was expected, and that was it. Nothing to say about that. Nothing to write home from there. So there you go. Just give me a moment, folks. I gotta do something here. All right, we have to move that there. That way, it'll be more better. Now, any minor notes here before we move on? Oh yeah, Alex Marvez, he interviews Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Okay, I remember this now. The interview. Basically, it's about the American Top Team returns to a Rampage. Not much right at home. At this point, I don't care anymore. They had some they could do something with this this whole American Top Team, but nope. Now doesn't interest me. Now we get to the next match. A match between Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes, Part 2, with Arn Anderson and the return of Brandy Rose alongside with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was being heavily booed, and so was Brandy Rose, who's also heavily booed. It was 11 minutes and 5 seconds it lasted. The match itself was good. What I didn't like about the match was that Brandy Rose got involved, where she basically had Malachi Black going for his some type of aerial tactic to Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes got away, and then Malachi Black does the whole thing where he bounces off the does the springboard like he did back in the days of NXT, and he's just Indian style in the ring. And Brandy Rose decided to do it too. And I said to myself, what's the purpose of her doing this? I didn't get this at all. I was not needed. And it's not because how I feel about Brandy Rose of a wrestling. But just storyline wise, it just makes no sense. And then Brandy Rose does the middle finger to Malachi Black. Like, wow, what a classy mother, wife, woman you are, Brandy Rose. So of course we booed. We booed that. Thinking that she's gonna get a pop for that too because she's being edgy. But the match continue on and all. Arn at one point was trying to get involved. He was supposed to be on the other side of the apron, but it was weird. It was weird how that was done, by the way. And as he tried to go to the other side of the apron, because he's going around the ring post, he fell. Now I missed the part that he fell, but it showed on TV how he fell too, and all. But it showed the full view of how he fell. My reaction was, "Oh my God, he's all right." And then you had some other reactions where people were laughing. Shame. But he has to get back up and get on the apron, and then the whole manager game bump happened. Cody Rhodes attends to him to see if he's alright. Said, "Don't worry about me. Go after him, and everything, right, So Cody Rhodes gets Malachi in the ring, and he starts beating him in the corner. Paul Turner is trying to pull him away. And all of a sudden, Cody Rhodes kept on going, and then brushes him off, the referee, and then Malachi Black with the black mist, and rolls up Cody Rhodes for the win. And yes, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll take it. Because my words was that Cody Rhodes was going to win. And they showed parts where he looked like he was going to win too. But luckily they didn't pull the trigger because Cody Rhodes did not need a win. And there's no more, and it should be no more rematch, by the way. No more rematches. That's it. Done. Malachi Black got his win. That's it. Move on. Hopefully we get that. But yeah, other than the whole thing with Brandy Rose and the whole thing with Arn Anderson falling, which was it was unfortunate. This match was good, and the right outcome was right with Malachi Black winning, because that's gotta be Malachi or Alakai. Just saying. Anyways, Sammy Guevara cuts a promo about Miro, humiliating Figure del Sol. And also we get Miro. Basically, it was basically a video promo. Did it here? Miro says that he broke his neck before, but his God and his wife put him back together, and and his body belongs to them. Says that God demands pain and his wife demands pleasure, and he's going to give them both by the by taking Sammy out, and they will face each other on Dynamite, which we'll get to that part when we get to it. When reference to them being in Rochester, New York, which was a special event for that too, by the way, which we'll get to that when I get to that review. FTR now versus and being covered by Tully Blanchard. They had their attires, reference to their on the trunks, in the back, FTR, and the logo of the NWO, which is great. I loved it. And they went up against the Icon, Sting, and Darby Allin. It lasted 9 minutes and 25 seconds. By the way, when it comes to in fact, I'll say it after the match between Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. But besides that, this match was good. This tag team match, it was a good tag team match. Pulling over both teams. Especially with chance to pull over FTR of their being a heel tag team, and then with chance to Sting and Darby Allin being a tag team, with chance to from different generations. It was great. Sting, it was great seeing Sting there, man. It was a great atmosphere, a great experience like no other, and it was just amazing, man. And this match was amazing. Tully Blanchard, one point trying to get involved, which is rubbing the paint off Darby Allin at one point, but didn't work. Because Darby Allin fall away. Because without their face paints, that Sting and Darby Allin has, which by the way, that's the face paint that both that Sting had, by the way, looks sick as fuck, man. Man, it was like it was like smothered together. Just him having the Crow Sting face paint, but it was all smothered too and all, like how Darby Allin looks too and all. It was amazing. But I was gonna say about the face paints though, at the end of their powers, their superpowers are gone because their face paints are being rubbed off. That's not the case, but I'm just saying. But in the end, they try to get involved with Tully Blanchard on handing Dax Harwood the steel chair, but Sting saw that coming, took care of Dax Harwood, putting him through the chair. Because the chair was raised up there, because he didn't use it. He should throw him into the chair. It doesn't count as disqualification. Then Tully Blanchard gets punched down by Sting, and then we get to the Scorpion Deathlock onto Dax Harwood. Cash Wheeler try to get Dax to the ropes, by pulling him, and Darby Allin out of nowhere coffin drop onto him on the apron, to Dax, the Cash Wheeler, and then Sting pulls him away from the ropes, and then from there, no choice but to tap out. So basically, Sting did everything there. The Stinger Splash, the Scorpion Death Drop, even the no school wrestling thing that they've done before, where it tends to double opponents heads colliding to each other. One wrestler falls down, and the other wrestler ends up on the ropes, and then also falls down, and then boom, head first to the groin. That's old school wrestling there. That's nothing I love about that too. That's the thing I should mention too. So there you go. But besides that, great match. Good match, I should say. It was a good match. Then we go to commercial break. Now, I'm assuming it was during this time of the commercial break when they had Team Taz coming out with Taz, Ricky Starks. I think Ricky Starks out there. I could be wrong, but I digress. We have Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook there. And Taz going to promo about CM Punk, about how he sucks. Which I thought was funny. And we're all laughing. All of us that would not everyone laugh at that, but we all laugh because just the way that Taz said it, saying that CM Punk, you just straight up suck. I thought that was funny. So I'm assuming it happened during that time, before we get to the main event. Speaking of the main event, we got to the main event for the AEW Women's World Championship. Lasted 13 minutes and 20 seconds with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Jamie Hayter and Rebel versus the Runaway, Ruby Soho. And the match happens. It's a pretty decent match. Even with just watching it live and watching it on TV as well. Which is later on. It was a decent match, a decent main event. Should this match have been a main event? Not really. But it was still a decent main event match where, unlike it was whatever. It's fine, you know. They need a title match to be a main event because for this show itself. But at the same time, we got a main event attraction match like Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. That should have been the main event. That's just me. But I don't know. I don't understand why they went with that. I don't know. I understand where they were going with that whole thing. But to me, Kenny Omega and Daniel, Bryan Danielson, I should say, should have been the main event of the show. You could have had this match between Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, like somewhere in the middle of the car, and it wouldn't make any difference. It wouldn't make any difference, But this match is good. We have some cool spots in the match as well, where obviously you got Jimmy Hayter getting involved at one point, and Rebel getting involved as well. But overall, it was still a good match, a good straight up one-on-one between Ruby Soho and Britt Baker. In the end, Rebel trying to get involved. By the way, the finish move that Ruby Soho does now, the riot kick, something like that. Re-riot. What I can't remember what it was called. I already forgot what it was called now. By Excalibur. Because Ruby Soho renamed it. So she did went to Britt Baker, which we could have a winner there, a new champion. But then Rebel got involved, and then Jimmy Hayter came from the other side. Ruby went after her, but then Jimmy Hayter ducked and guillotined her on the ropes, and then from there we got Britt Baker getting her into the into the lockjaw and gets a submission win. So Ruby Soho taps out, and your winner still your AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And there you go. And that was the show. And that's how the show ended. And yeah. Nothing else to say about that other than where it tends to everything happened on the show here for AEW Dynamite. My overall rating for the show for AEW Dynamite, I'm gonna give this show a 10 out of 10. Where it tends the Tomar Wrestling of 5 matches that happen on here. And it was just a great experience to watch it live and to watch it on TV as well. And it was just something that that AEW has made has been been doing for quite a while, and the momentum is gonna keep on going and going from here. Nothing else to say then yeah, it was just great. Now it pertains to my AEW Dynamite experience at our stadium, where it pertains to the arena itself, where it pertains to how the inside of the building looks too and all. I'm pretty sure you already seen how it looked on where it's my vlogs like that I did. Basically, it looks like something on that that we see in the past for WWF at the time, WWE, which I want to say, where it pertains to the Silver Domes like that. That's basically what that type of atmosphere that I saw inside of the building, how this arena looked, which was great. So, but yeah, my experience pertains to everything that's happened there. It pertains to everything that happened there. And I'll talk a little more about that on Rampage as well after Rampage. But pertains to these noise from the crowds, which was legit, nothing piped in whatsoever, and pertains to how everything looked to now, with no seats being tarred. It was a jam pack. There was some seats that could not be filled in because I saw something that said something about Chase. I don't know if that's what be for the people that work for Chase or whatever, but that's the only seats that were empty there. But as far as the rest of the seats, no seats whatsoever was empty. They were jam packed. It was sold out. The type of seats that you expect to see to be filled in for these shows. Nothing was tarred. Nothing was was any of that like how I experienced from WWE, where it tends to some seats being empty and all that, and they had and they tarred it, something like that. I can't remember how it's called at the time, but it pertains to that, you have the units of crowds of fans of Bryan Danielson going yes, 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 and the whole thing with sing along of CM Punk's theme of Cult of Personality was great. MJF got booed too, by the way, which is good. You should boo him because he's a prick, an asshole, and a heel. So and Malachi Black, he was cheered like oh my god, like we love this guy. We don't care if he is a heel. He is cool because of that cool entrance that he had, was by the way that entrance of him. Now it's it's red lighting entrance, and then his contact, by the way, with the red contacts. Like, I love how he's doing something different there now. Matt Cutback is keeping the flow and doing something different here. Cody Rhodes, he got, like I said already, he got heavily booed. No one was behind Cody Rhodes. Not that I could think of. No one was behind Cody Rhodes. Especially in my section. They were booing the hell out of Cody Rhodes. It was a tremendous atmosphere, and the whole thing was Sting. My God, was Sting there? Holy crap, man! Everyone was loving Sting there. Darby Allin was loved too, but they was probably more for Sting than they were for Darby Allin. And then we tend to Dr. Britt Baker. Obviously, she got a big reaction there too. Which tends to going for the the whole DMD But it tends to Kenny Omega. This is my first time seeing him wrestle at a live show. Bryan Danielson, this ain't new to me. This ain't new to me. I seen him wrestle before and a live shows before. So this ain't new to me. With Bryan Danielson, but that's in WWE. That wasn't WWE, but in AEW, this was a great atmosphere for that. MJF, my first time seeing him wrestle live in person. Same thing with Brian Pillman Jr. Malachi Black, my first time seeing him wrestle live. Cody Rhodes, though, I seen him wrestle before on live before in WWE. I don't recall if I seen. No, actually, no, I didn't. I'll think about Ring of Honor, but I was thinking myself, no. It's probably one of those shows I probably did miss of seeing him wrestle there. Sting, my first time seeing him wrestle. Darby Allin, FTR, first time me seeing them wrestling too. So, in the way with FTR, I'm glad I've seen FTR wrestle on the show because I love the FTR. Dr. Bricker DMD and Ruby Soho, obviously my first time seeing them wrestle too live as well, and I'll get to more of people that saw wrestle live as well at the same time as well. Pertains to past events that they've been in as well, pertains to seeing them wrestle live and in person, and we'll get to that. That's so basically, yeah, that's basically my I got one guy next to me pertains to he's also a WWE fan, but also a fan of AEW, and he was very cool. He had a CM Punk T-shirt that he bought. Especially his new CM Punk T-shirt, by the way, which looks cool, by the way, cool as fuck. And my goal was to buy an Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson T-shirt, but unfortunately, I didn't have the money in my card to pay for it, because I had some money on my card, and I didn't know it was gonna have you pay with a debit card. I thought you could also pay in cash too, but apparently you couldn't. And I found that out when I went to get me some beer and some food. But that was all during the Rampage portion of it. So when it comes to that, I bought one T-shirt, which was a Bryan Danielson T-shirt, and either way, I still got a Bryan Danielson T-shirt, man, because I am a fan of Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. And there you go. And that was my experience. Where it tends to AEW Dynamite. And now let's get to AEW Rampage Grand Slam 2021 from September 24th, 2021. This was obviously, yeah, I should know about this already. Where it tends to when AEW announced that it was going to be a 4-hour event. Where it tends to AEW Grand Slam for 2021 in Arthur Ashe Stadium from that the 22nd edition for AEW shows. It was taped. They taped the shows of Rampage Grand Slam 2021, and it aired on September 24th, 2021. Your commentators were Taz, Excalibur, and I'm trying to remember if it was also Tony Schiavone. No, actually, it was Ricky Starks. So, yeah, Excalibur, Taz, and Ricky Starks were commentary, and then you also had Don Callis commentary for the trios match, which we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, Dream Man commentary. Minus Don Callis and no Chris Jericho, because he was wrestling on that show. But at the same time, I kind of wish you could have Mark Henry there too, because Mark Henry, the whole idea of Rampage was for Mark Henry to be, the commentator on the show, instead of having being an interviewer backstage, which you could do that too and all, but also it would be nice to have it also on commentary as well, because that was the whole idea and the whole goal and the whole purpose of Mark Henry being there, right? Nah, but hopefully they'll get back to that, hopefully. So, but that's all there is to it. So let me first pull it up. So, oh yeah, okay, we go. Now, before the show, by the way, Rampage, they have the Acclaim coming out there. Now, since the Acclaim coming out there, I didn't know what was they're out there for. I don't know if they were having a match, whatever. The Acclaim came out there, and apparently, it was like some type of, I don't know, because I was actually I had to go to the bathroom at that time, and then I went to get some food, and in a beer. And during that time where I was doing that, all of a sudden I heard the music of Powerhouse Hobbs, because at this point Rampage already started, and I heard the music of Powerhouse Hobbs, which probably was since AEW Rampage Grand Slam 2021, a 2-hour special event. So there you go. Just want to mention that too. But I heard Powerhouse Hobbs music, and I'm like, oh no, really? They opened up the show with that? I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. That should not been, in my opinion, that should not have been the opener. In fact, let me check something on Wikipedia here over things to the Acclaim being out there. Was it a match or was it something else? If it's something else, then if it's not on there, then yeah, it's because it was something else. Yeah, so it was something else. So I guess I missed the rap, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's on Dark Elevation. Maybe it's on Dark. I don't know. Because I wasn't out to the sea. I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't even bother asking. Because I'll be honest with you, I think I didn't care. As long as it wasn't CM Punk out there, I didn't care. But then also CM Punk came out there, against Powerhouse Hobbs, and I said so, wow, bad timing there. Because I was getting beer and food. And the funny thing was that when I was in line, I'll get to a little more about it, but while I was in line, we had two couples. These couples, they were out there in front of me, which is to getting food and drinks, and they're CM Punk fans, and the reason I knew because they were wearing CM Punk t-shirts, and pertains to that, they should know the match that between Punk and Powerhouse Hobbs was going to be the match for Rampage, right? So how's it that when Rampage started, and then you heard Powerhouse Hobbs music hitting, and then they even noticed that was his music, even though to me, watching on the shows and all that, and always loving that, the whole Powerhouse. How the hell do you not know that was Powerhouse Hobbs music, knowing that Powerhouse Hobbs is going to go up against CM Punk? But then also when CM Punk's music hits, all of a sudden they hear that and then, oh man, that's the opener, and I see myself in my mind, I see myself, really. You did not figure it out until you heard CM Punk's music. You didn't figure out when Powerhouse Hobbs was out there first. But I guess it's whatever, right? Maybe people don't know Powerhouse Hobbs music, even though I don't know. I don't understand why you don't, because if you watch the show weekly, especially with CM Punk being there now, you should know that that's Powerhouse Hobbs music. But I digress. But yeah, that was the opening match. CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs with Hook at ringside, because like Mussolini and Kennedy, the cult of personality. So 13 minutes and 35 seconds lasted. Powerhouse Hobbs and CM Punk had a good match, minus the botch happened with just the Hurricanrana spot they did, and obviously Powerhouse Hobbs was nervous against CM Punk. Where it tends to get, especially when I started noticing it while I watch it back on the screen, on the big screen, I should say. I mean, on TV, I meant to say. On TV, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs did not look bad in the match though. He still got a lot to learn, and CM Punk is there, and Bryan Danielson and other guys, even Mark Henry, can help out Powerhouse Hobbs to get comfortable and to work through it, and then he will eventually he will wear off the green because he's still a little green. One point CM Punk sticking middle finger to Hook. They're heavily teasing something about CM Punk versus Hook, where fans want to see Hook wrestle. They want to see Hook square up against CM Punk in the match. So Punk did his thing, and by the way, he brought back the trunks. No, he's not wearing the long tights. He's wearing back to his trunks. He's getting comfortable again wearing trunks now. So anyone else that was was like, oh, why is he wearing long tights? He should be wearing trunks. His long his trunks. His usual trunks on that. Well, he's wearing his trunks now, so I could calm down now. So, I'm just saying. But hey, it was great to see him wearing trunks too and all. I'm like, just be patient. You'll see him wear trunks again. He just got back. He's getting used to getting back. So and on top of that, with the long tights, I didn't mind the long tights. I thought it looks good on them. So in fact, I'll love to see him rocking more of that than his trunks. So there you go. But yeah, also returns to Punk giving middle finger to Hook, and then he does this. Reminds me of the time where CM Punk was talks to that fan, saying to him that you have a vagina. Remembers that part, back in 2011. He's like, oh yeah, I gotcha. And now he's doing here with Hook here. Doing this. Hook ya. Oh man, that was funny. But yeah, besides that, it was a very good match. Hook got involved, but then he got knocked off the apron, I should say. By Powerhouse Hobbs, because it was supposed to be Punk. It was Powerhouse Hobbs because it was a miscommunication there, and the Punk was for the GTS, and lights off for Powerhouse Hobbs. Like he said, he's going to sleep, and he did, and that was it. That was the match. Then we get to a segment that basically a video promo pertains to Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, and Nyla Rose. Pertains to the match that's going to happen on Rampage, the next Rampage show, which could be a three-way match. At first, it's going to be Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose team up against Thunder Rosa until they start turning on each other from there. Even though that should have been done at All Out when they did the Casino Battle Royale for the women's, but they didn't do that. Which was like what was the point at that at first when they first built this whole thing up, Powerhouse. Anyways, but yeah, that was that. The super click, I should say, being coming upon Don Callis. Also, Brandon Cutler Rose there too and all. But Don Callis ends up being on commentary. But the super click, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and then it's all about that boom, Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole comes out. The super click came out, and the crowds were heavily behind Adam Cole, more than they were with the Young Bucks. No one cares about the Young Bucks no more, unfortunately, because look at them. Look how they're acting now. Look how they're behaving. Look how they're been carrying themselves now. But I'll say this: they're wearing a normal outfit, like they were before. So I'll just say that. But they went up against Jurassic Express of Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus being claimed by Marco Stunt, and Christian Cage, the Impact World Champion. A 6-man tag team match, a trios match, I should say. Lasted 14 minutes and 35 seconds. This was a very good fun match. Oh, by the way, Doc Gallows was out there too. By the way, Doc Gallows was out there along with with the Super Click, and not Carl Anderson. Speaking of which, fuck Carl Anderson. But yeah, this match was a fun match. It was a good match. It was all total non-stop action. No point into TNA wrestling, Impact Wrestling, what you want to say. But very good match. A lot of cool spots happened in the match, especially from the outside of the match too. Oh man, it was just amazing. And then the finish happened where they did a lot of these moves to Luchasaurus, I should say. The Paramount Sunrise, the BTE trigger, and then the boom, which it used to call the last shot, but now it's called boom because it's all about that boom. And there you go. The Super Click wins. the match, which I expected they was going to win. Of course, I was going to win. They was going to win. And there you go. Not much to say about that. Sneak peek about Rose to the Top, and I didn't care. Moving on. Men of the Year. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky being come by Dan Lambert. Going up against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Basically, Men of the Year won. Did I care about the match? No. But the post match. Oh, by the way, not that it matters, but the match lasted. A tag team match lasted 11 minutes, and there you go. And again, they didn't care about the match, but people did care about the sing along of Chris Jericho's Judas. That's all we care about. Other than that, the match was nothing special. After the match, though, the American Tag Team came out. You have Paige Van Zant and some other fighters, and they'll be up on Jake Hager and Jericho, because Jericho and Jake Hager went after Dan Lambert. And yeah, they were basically left there beating up that, and that was it. And then there's some ridiculous happened. So after we saw the Inner Circle getting beat up of Jericho and Hager, right? The next match was Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, from the Inner Circle, right? I'm like, what a poor lineup that was, because if Santana and Ortiz knew they were going to be up next and all that, and they see their buddies getting beat up, why didn't they come out to save them? Even Sammy Guevara was on the show too. Why didn't they come out to save Jericho and Hager? Well, because the plot didn't demand it? Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, that made no sense to me. That just looked dumb. Hell, why even have this match in the first place? Why even had that? Why even had that spot too? By the way, it was not needed. But speaking of which, of Santana Ortiz, 8-man tag team match happened. With the Lucha Bros, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Penta El Zero Miedo and Ray Phoenix, become by Alex Abrahantes, with Santana Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, looking like the baseball teams in the movie of the Warriors. I forgot what would they call again? Damn it, I can't remember the call. I'll look it up later. But yeah, basically it was that whole thing where you have Ortiz having the 3 bottles of beers, empty bottles of beer, and doing this, doing it together. Yeah, if anyone's seen the Warriors movies, you know what I'm talking about. The whole Warriors come out to play. It'll make more sense if I had empty glass bottles in you. But at the same time, you should know what I'm talking about. The Warriors, great movie, Bob. Great classic movie. But they were up against the Hardy family office of private parties Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, the Butcher and the Blade being covered by Matt Hardy and Jack Evans. So it lasted 9 minutes and 20 seconds of an 8-man tag team match, and it was a good match, a very damn good match. It was right up there with the Click for versus Jurassic Express and Christian Cage match, that trios match, and this was great too. A lot of great moments, great spots in the match. The one spot that I feel like it was forced and it was just distracting was Matt Hardy getting the clip, the scissors, trying to cut the hair of, I think it was Ortiz, and all of a sudden Orange Cassidy comes out, and then also all everything came to a halt. Matt Hardy did not want to cut Ortiz's hair after that, and it seems so. Why? Because Orange Cassidy came out. Matt Hardy is so disgusted and so distracted of the presence and the appearance of Orange Cassidy. He stopped doing what he doing there. By the way, did I talk about this part where? Oh yeah, actually I did. That's not important. That was stupid too. But also, Jack Evans goes after Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy gives him an orange punch, and then he leaves. And then went a commercial break. And that's nothing. Since me watching this live, I didn't know there was going. I didn't know that it was during that time they went a commercial break. But once I watch it back on TV, that's when they went a commercial break. When Orange Cassidy came out and gave him the orange punch. And first squeeze chance went on and everything, and there you go. And I was part of that too, by the way, because I love Orange Cassidy. So the match continues, and a lot of cool spots in the match, like I said before, and that was the point where Matt Hardy and Jack Evans was gone. I didn't even know they were gone at that time. I wasn't really paying attention to them. I can care less. I was paying attention more to the match, because that's what matters to me. It's the match, the wrestling. In the end, Lucha Bros hit their finishing moves. The Zero Miedo, and then Santana Ortiz put the Street Sweeper to the same. I can't remember who did it to. I think it's either Isaiah Cassidy maybe, or maybe it was to the Blade. I can't remember who it was, but either way, it doesn't matter because the babyfaces won. Lucha Bros and Partner Powerful, they won the match. It was great, and there you go. After the match, Tony Schiavone interviews Matt Hardy and Jack Evans. Matt Hardy says the match outcome was a disappointing result. At the end of the interview, he says he challenges Orange Cassidy to a hair versus hair match. Then he says that Orange Cassidy will be Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans, and Jack Evans looks surprised and all that. And then Matt Hardy says, you will win, you better win, and everything, blah blah blah. You feel AEW for there. Sammy Guevara comes out with Figure Del Sol. They do the whole thing with the cue cards and all. And then Miro comes out and basically destroys both of them, especially Figure Del Sol. Throwing him off the stage to the table, and then finishing off Sammy Guevara with the game over on him, and then puts the belt up in the air, his TNT belt up in the air and all that, and that was it. Basically, building up their match for Dynamite, which is gonna be the next Dynamite review I'll do. So, we get a segment where Andrade El Idolo, who said that Pac will not have an excuse for losing next time when they have a match, and there you go. Nothing to say about that. He did threaten though his assistant Jose, if he ever gets involved again, you're gonna end up where Chavo Guerrero is. So there you go. Penelope Ford defeated Anna Jay in 6 minutes and 45 seconds in a match that I thought was fucking terrible. Not because of Anna Jay, Penelope Ford. She just sucks. And then speaking of someone who sucks too, the Bunny came out there, because she wanted to be a distraction for Anna Jay to lose, and that's exactly what happened. Except when it comes to the whole losing thing, I believe it was because of the brass knuckles. Yes, it was the brass knuckles that was that came. It just looks fake, by the way. The way it looks stupid too. Then I'm trying to. And then they start beating up on energy after that, and then Ty Conti comes out, and then the Bunny gets on Ty Conti, and again she can knock out the brass knuckles, and for whatever reason the Hardy Family Office came out to basically Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, or Mark Quinn, the Butcher and the Blade, to shield from Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. And I say to myself, well, I'm pretty sure this is going to be set with something else here, and sure enough it was. Dark Order coming out. And then you also have Stu Grayson coming out with Evil Uno and Coco Cabana as well, with the rest of the Dark Order. Chasing all of them away. And then, they're doing this whole thing where Evil Uno is not happy with the Dark Order right now. And so he leaves, and Stu Grayson and Coco Cabana leaves along with them too. Whatever. Then we get to an interview. By the way, the match, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but the match, oh yeah, actually I did mention it. Not that I remember. But yeah, the match sucked. And I feel bad for Anna Jay. And I say to myself, her return to on TV in her one-on-one match, Anna Jay, and she's already losing. AEW failed. Interview. the whole three split screens. Mark Henry speaks to Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki about the match against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and Lance Archer said what he said. Minoru Suzuki starts talking in Japanese, by the way. He gets called up by Eddie Kingston, and Lance Archer takes offense of that. And Eddie Kingston is like, I'm not talking all that. He just rip off his tank top, which is funny. And Moxley starts saying what he's saying, and then come on, that's not let's do this already. Because Eddie Kingston, this is you're in my hometown. You're my neck of the woods. I love Eddie Kingston, man. He is great. He is, my God, great. And fuck that siren, by the way. So this match. This is a lights out, unsanctioned match. Whatever happens in this match, AEW will not be responsible for this. So the match lasted 14 minutes and 56 seconds. And the match was, obviously, the Mohawk Monster, Lance Archer, and Minoru Suzuki reuniting together. The Suzuki Goon. And Lance Archer is Lance Archer from New Japan Pro Wrestling. You got these guys outside the ring, these trainees, these young, I guess you could say these young lions, AEW's versions of young lions. And Archer's killing them. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody dies. You cross my path, everybody dies. Boom, boom. It was great, man. See, that's the Lance Archer we should be seeing in AEW, not what they're doing. What they've been doing from over a year and a half. See, the Lance Archer that you saw on Dynamite, not Dynamite, Rampage, let's just say. The stuff that you see Lance Archer doing on Rampage is what they should be doing with him. The things that he's been doing back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which got him over. But since Minoru Suzuki's theme, the sing along of his theme, especially the one note, Gasoline. Sorry, I think I'm take care about it. I feel like I got something on my nose. Hope that's gone now. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston comes out now, and they're already immediately went at each other. Well, more sort of same Minoru Suzuki did, went after them. And you have weapons like candlesticks, trash cans, because you know what that means. Steel chairs, tables, a duct tape involved, a strap, all the 9 yards there you see. A sword chair shot match between Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley on stage. Eddie Kingston, and Minoru Suzuki having their exchange of chops in the ring. Minoru Suzuki puts Eddie Kingston to a table that Eddie Kingston set up. The strap was used by Lance Archer to Jon Moxley, whipping him, and Minoru Suzuki whipped him too. And then at one point Moxley was being hanged by Lance Archer with the strap over the ropes and all that. That's old school shit. Candlesticks was used onto Moxley by Minoru Suzuki, and I think Lance Archer did at 1.2 as well. A trash can was used. A trash can lid was used. Eddie Kingston was trying to fight back on Lance Archer, but Lance Archer fought him back and took him out. Moxley was duct taped, by the way, by Lance Archer, to punch on him. And also before that happened, by the way, Lance Archer got those group of guys again from the outside that he beat up before, from the opening of the where the match is getting ready to open up and everything. He gets all of them together there, and then gets Moxley from the apron, chokes him onto all of them because everybody dies. Everybody dies. Fuck the sirens, by the way. Anyways, but yeah, that was cool though. And then we get to the part where Moxley getting duct tape with his hands back behind him, and the punishment started with Moxley there, and Kingston couldn't do anything about it. He was getting ass kicked too. Reminds me of the days of Moxley and Kingston versus the Go For Nothing brothers back months ago. But I digress. So, and then we get to a part where they got these chairs stacked up together. I mean, sat together. And Lance Archer was going to take him out with the blackout. Basically have Eddie Kingston have his back onto those this part of the chair. That was put together. For to do, right. So all of a sudden, we hear a theme music. Don't know who it was until they show on the screen. Homicide. And like, whoa! I'm like, what the hell? I marked out when I saw that. Like, it's Homicide, and then Homicide comes to the crowd, basically tricking Suzuki-gun of Archer and Suzuki, thinking that he was gonna come from the entranceway. Nope, he came from the crowds instead. Took out Suzuki, took out Archer. Then unties Moxley, but then Suzuki recovers and takes out Homicide, and then Suzuki gained Moxley pretends to he was tied up and everything. Basically trying to trick Minoru Suzuki, and he did, to a point where Minoru Suzuki goes for the clock stop power driver, but then Moxley counters, gets him the paradigm shift. Lance Archer gets back in, and Eddie Kingston comes in there, and basically they both take care of Lance Archer, to a point where first the paradigm shift had to Moxley. By Moxley to Archer. Then Eddie Kingston got a trash can to put it on to Archer, and then gets the candlestick and then just starts and he's going nuts with it, and he starts breaking it and then tossing it. I'm like, holy shit, he's out of control there. And then goes for the cover and pins Lance Archer. Now that doesn't count for they'll now count for the winner loss record because it's unsanctioned. So in a way, Lance Archer is safe there. But at the same time, Lance Archer still couldn't win a match there either. But in the end, it was Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley winning. And after the match, Moxley and Suzuki will fight outside. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling style that they do. Every time when the match is over, they used to continue the fight. And then Moxley got the better of him and tossed him to the steps. And then Moxley, Kingston, and Homicide in the ring together, and they ended the show with those three guys standing, and that was it for the show. And that will do it for AEW Rampage Grand Slam 2021 as well. We're changed to the total wrestling of 5 matches too. I'm sorry, not 5. I miscounted. 6 matches were the amount. And my overall rating for the show, 9 out of 10. Now, if it wasn't for Homicide, if it wasn't for the match with CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs, wasn't for the Super Click versus the Christian Cage and Jurassic Express, it wasn't for the A-Man Tag Team match that I thought was great. And if it wasn't for that unsanctioned match too, by the way, that was great too. This would if it wasn't for those matches, this would have easily been maybe a 7 out of 10. But we're chance to watching it live and watching it later on TV, 9 out of 10. Same result, same overall story I thought it was. And that would do it for returns to AEW Rampage, returns to Grand Slam 2021. Before I get to my experience, returns to AEW Rampage, returns to being on Arthur Ashe Stadium. First of all, returns to AEW Grand Slam 2021, pertains to both shows of Dynamite and Rampage. I'll give you my AEW Grand Slam highlights of the night. So here we go. Alright, let me see here. Almost there. Alright, we go. I had some new new things for change to it, so here we go. Swerve of the Night returns to Dynamite. Malachi Black with the Black Mist. Swerve of the Night for Rampage was Orange Cassidy, who brought back up, where chance to go up against the Hart Family Office that happened with Ty Conti and Anna Jay. From that, after that horrible match that happened with Anna Jay that was a part of against that piece of trash. Apparently before was not that good in the ring. Shock of the Night, Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega opening the show. To me, I was shocked there for Kingston Dynamite. For Rampage though, Homicide showing up. That was a surprise, a shock. Moment of the night, seeing Sting wrestle in person, a legend, an icon, of professional wrestling. Another moment pertains to and that's for obviously for Dynamite, but for Rampage, proud and powerful because of the outfits they wore, and with them being in New York because they are from New York, and yeah, there you go. Chance of the night, from Dynamite, yes. But for Rampage, Luchasaurus, he was over. And yet they had him lose. I don't get it. But he was still protected during the loss though. But at the same time, really. But whatever. Match was still good though. Pop in the night. Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega was a huge pop in the night. Bigger than any other pops on the show. For Dynamite. For Rampage, CM Punk was the biggest pop because obviously it's CM Punk, the best in the world. Boo of the night, Clay Rose and Brandy Rose from Dynamite, and for Rampage, the American Top Team. Promo of the night pertains to Dynamite, CM Punk, and then pertains to Rampage, Eddie Kingston. Video promo of the night, Miro versus Sammy Guevara from Dynamite pertains to unplugging their match for Dynamite, and pertains to Rampage. Jay Cargill versus Nyla Rose versus Nyla Rosa, pertains to that match been up for Rampage. Pertains to the next shows. So there you go. Segment of the night pertains to the segment of the night pertains to Dynamite, which this was during a commercial break. Because after watching back on television, on my DVR I should say, but at the same time television, whatever. Taz, there was a message to CM Punk, that thing where, you just foul suck, something like that. Which is funny. So that segment of the night, for Dynamite, that wasn't that was not air on Dynamite, but Miro, which is to attacking, Guevara after, and also, Figure del Sol, which is to the cue cards thing. That segment of the night there. So, for Rampage. Interest of the night. For Dynamite, Malachi Black. For Rampage, Proud and Powerful. Yes. Performance of the night. For Dynamite, Bryan Danielson. Yes. And for Rampage, CM Punk. Best in the world. Moving the night. Dr. Britt Baker's DMD. Dr. Britt Baker's, I should say. Air raid crash from the top, from the second turnbuckle, I should say. And I talked about before, since some cool spots in the match between Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. That was one of them. That was great, and that deserves move of the night. For Dynamite. For Rampage, Luchasaurus chokeslam pertains to either, I can't remember, it was either to Mac Jackson to Alan Cole, or Alan Cole to Mac Jackson, pertains to Luchasaurus getting a chokeslam, right, and again when the super click, and then boom, that was awesome. So that deserves move of the night there, pertains to Rampage. Finisher of the night, Dr. Britt Baker's Lockjaw, and for Dynamite. And for Rampage, CM Punk's Go to Sleep. Brutal match of the night, for Dynamite, in a good way. FTR versus Sting and Darby Allin. For Rampage, obviously, brutal match of the night goes to the unsanctioned Lights Out match with tag team style. Suzuki Goons, Archer, and Suzuki versus Moxley and Kingston, in a good way too. Fight Forever for Dynamite, and for this is awesome too, by the way, for Dynamite as well. This is just before Dynamite, which is a Grand Slam. Twice goes to Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega for which is that match. Shows of the night for Dynamite, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. And as far as for Rampage is the 8-man tag team clinic match of Santana Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, with the AEW World Tag Team Champions Lucha Bros, Pantano Miller and Ray Phoenix versus Private Party of Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, and the Butcher and the Blade of the Hardy Family Office. Um, and finally, match of the night. For Dynamite, it's the AEW Women's World Championship title. And for Rampage, it was CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse. And that will do it, folks, for your highlights of AEW Grand Slam, which is to both Dynamite and Rampage 2021. Now let me talk about my experience versus to the Rampage portion of it, since I already talked about my Dynamite portion of it. So, obviously, what it takes to me after Dynamite was over and everything, I was going, to find a bathroom for me to go in. But but since I was fooling around too, by the way, walking around, and also I was on Taku's stream, where it to him doing the Dynamite stream, because Mr. Ricky J21 wasn't available because he was working. So, but where it tends to all that, I was talking to them and everything, and it tends to a big crowd in the arena, and it tends to be after the show's over, and we're still here, and we're still, and people big crowds in line, or it tends to merchandise, to buy t-shirts or whatever they want to buy, and it tends to getting food or drinks, and then going to the bathroom. I was chilling with them on there, and let them know that their experience and everything, and let them know everything about how nothing was piped in. It was all legit fans, speaking their mind, speaking their voice, letting their voices be heard, and just letting you all know that it was a full packed crowd, and I'm so proud for AEW for doing that too and all. But it pertains to everything out in that building too. You have a lot of great employees there, man. Especially pertains to your filming, the matches and whatever there is to it. There was no problems with that at all. Unlike my experience with WWE, going to those buildings where oh, you can't do that, blah blah blah. Not one security came up to me and said, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that, in everything, right? That's part of the law, man. You can't be doing that because that's copyrighted and all that and everything, right? As long as there's no issue of it, pertains to of while we're doing that and everything, that shouldn't be a problem. But I've seen there was no issue with that whatsoever. AEW, obviously AEW, I had to talk with them. So let them have fun. Or we'll take care of the whole copyright thing. Pertains to if it's even worth blocking them the contents, or doesn't matter if it's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, Twitter, whatever platforms they use. So we got that freedom to do that. Again, unlike with WE's, when it pertains to when we try to do something from there, it tells you can't record that, we'll kick you out if you continue to do that, Ring of Honor did that too, by the way, a few times. But other than that, it wasn't no bad experience with Ring of Honor though, when it comes to that whole thing. But back to my other experience. So after meeting in the bathroom and getting in line, that's when I heard the Acclaim coming out there. Didn't know what that was about. I still know what that's about. But now I was in line again. I was in two lines. One line, basically, one wasn't gonna basically this one they said something about this one guy who's gonna be the last guy to serve wherever. So I was like, okay. So I went the other line, which it was shorter. So, and that's when I heard Powerhouse Hobbs coming out. And again, these two couples in front of me that are CM Punk fans, didn't even know that was supposed to be that Powerhouse Hobbs, is the what's going to be the opponent. Even though I don't know how you don't know that, especially when you heard his music, unless you never heard his music before, unless they don't watch the show, that weekly, and they watch other things, for someone that's a CM Punk fan, you will know that that's supposed to be the next match. That's supposed to be the build-up match, Powerhouse Hobbs versus CM Punk. And then when CM Punk's music hit, they started saying, "Oh, maybe CM Punk's coming out." Even though Powerhouse Hobbs came out, but I guess that wasn't a message right there. That didn't telegraph them that, but it's whatever. It's whatever. So the part I got to when after I got my food and drink and all that, which my again I had to pay with my credit card. I mean I don't have a credit card. I have a debit card. But what's the fucking difference, right? But anyways, but I pay with my card because I couldn't pay in cash. I guess they don't allow paying cash anymore. I'm like, damn it, man, that sucked. That's the one. That was one thing that kind of sucked there because I took money out of my card, but I still ended up paying it though. And then later on, we're changed to after the show was over, I got my Bryan Danielson T-shirt too. You know, unfortunately, if I had enough money in my car, I would have bought 2 shirts, Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. But unfortunately, because I couldn't do that, I bought Bryan Danielson instead. So I got to the part where CM Punk's doing the running knee lift to the corner to Powerhouse Hobbs, and that's basically from there. Now, what seems to me watching all these matches and all that, were they just after one match is over, they jump right into the next match, and then after that jump right into the next match, and then right into the next match, right into the next match, or in this case, new potential segments too, by the way. After having with Jericho and Hager getting attacked by the American Top Team, and then after Miro and basically attacking Guevara and Figure del Sol, and then the whole thing with the Hardy Family Office, blocking anyone that's trying to stop the assault on Anna Jay and Ty Conti, which that was stopped. The one things that didn't show on the show here was that they showed video promos, like the one I just mentioned, where it tends to they build up the whole thing with Anna Jay versus Jay Cargill versus Nyla Rose for the next Rampage show, which is going to be back to 1 hour, and we're into the promos where it tends to like Matt Hardy being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, or it was Tony Schiavone, or it tends to Jack Evans is going to volunteer to face his Orange Cassidy in the hair match, which he didn't agree to, and the whole thing with Andrade Idolo and his assistant Jose, which is to unveil the rematch between Andrade versus Pac, and that's the only thing that didn't show there, because they was gonna do, because obviously there was gonna be some doing some editings too, where it changed the whole thing. I do remember them showing the whole thing. Well, I can't remember if they did or not. Oh, okay, no, they didn't. I don't remember if they did or not. But the whole thing with Mark Henry, doing the split screen interviews with the 2 teams that was going up against each other in the final match, main event, the unsanctioned lights out match. So if I recall, I don't think they showed that either. They didn't show any of those things on the screen, which I thought that was good. I thought that was gonna be needed too. But I guess it pertains to the viewers, to the viewing audience watching at home. That was good. Mean a lot for them than for us. Being there live in person. So yeah. Other than that, there was nothing else that they did here. Other than they just show matches and segments on the show. No videos whatsoever on which chance to telling us what's gonna be about and everything. After the show though, this is the part I want to get to now. Eddie Kingston was doing his job to send everyone home. Basically saying to his uncle, rest in peace, and I think to his grandmother, rest in peace, and like that. I can't remember who he basically name drop his you could always look back at that once pertains to me. I'm assuming I got that up there on my vlogs, when it pertains to what happened after the show was off the air. And during the show off the air, before Kingston cut that promo, Minoru Suzuki was continuing to go after Moxley, and Moxley's put a stop to him, numerous of times. Oh man, it was fun. It was hilarious. Minoru Suzuki, he's the man. He's awesome. And then that's because Eddie Kingston cut a promo and sending us home happy and everything. About great to be here in New York and everything. And everything, and be with Moxley and Homicide and everything. Putting us over and all that. Awesome, man. Eddie Kingston, he's the man. I love Eddie Kingston, man. Glad that AEW picked him up. Glad that AEW got someone like Eddie Kingston representing this company known as AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And then they start ending the show, Wild Thing, and then all of a sudden they transferred the song to Frank Sinatra's song, New York, New York. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York. A little rusty, by the way. But and they put some other songs too. And then and that was it. Where everyone was empty out and all that. I stuck around for a little bit, because I was organizing my stuff, to put in my bag, and also talking about my experience too afterwards, and showing the aftermath of it, of everyone now gone. Um, then I went online to get obviously it wasn't that long, and like I don't care. I'm staying online. I'm gonna get me some t-shirt, even if I have to get only one t-shirt. You know, so I got that t-shirt of Bryan Danielson's American Dragon, that he's back, and there you go. And during that whole thing where I was gone from the from that arena, and outside and everything, and trying to find my ways to get back and everything. And I had a little trouble at first, but then all of a sudden, I ended up finding my way, and then I took a long way to go to Metropolitan, to catch the M train to from because I was in Queens, obviously. I need to get back to Brooklyn, so that was my only way to get back there. And I didn't mind the walking. I didn't mind the travel on feet. And for those who don't know, I love to travel on feet sometimes. I love walking. Just especially maybe a fast walker too and all. So. But yeah, other than that, nothing else to say there. Other than it was returns to AEW Rampage experience after this, returns to my experience of it. That. Everyone was good. Fans were good. The employees were good. Everyone around was all good. So yeah. So in closing, returns to my experience of AEW, returns to Dynamite and Rampage. It was a whole lot of fun, and then I love to do it all over again. Doesn't matter if it's going to be back in Arthur Ashe Stadium, or if they can, try to do some shows for Manhattan Center. Basically the Hammerstein Ballroom, or the world's most famous arena, which I hope that comes soon. Madison Square Garden. And in case of system too, by the way, AW is the home of New York. It's not the home of New York City. Because that we've been missing that for a long time, because WWE has not been doing that for us. They basically betrayed New York City of being the home turfs, since WrestleMania has not been going to back to Madison Square Garden anymore. That should have been a tradition that should have been lasted forever, but they chose not to do it anymore. So yeah, my experience of AEW was a way more farther better experience than my WWE experience. Not saying that all of them were bad, just a couple. But AEW is doing its job, and I'm happy to be an AEW All Elite Wrestling fan. Speaking of being All Elite, as you can see, Owen Hart, the King of Hearts, the Rocket Owen Hart, the Black Heart Owen Hart. Check this out. Nice setup. That's up there, huh? But that's some more setups, by the way. There, that's better. Owen James Hart, the legendary Owen Hart. It was announced during that week when AEW was going to Queens, New York at Arthur Ashe Stadium on that Monday, that Owen Hart is All Elite, pertains to AEW, and Martha Hart of the Owen Hart Foundation and partners. I mean, it was known that there was gonna be partners for a long time, since AEW started. Especially pertains to especially with the whole Dark Side of the Ring portion of it too. That it was only a matter of time that Martha Hart was gonna do business with AEW, and Tony Khan, kudos to him for doing that, because with Owen Hart being All Elite, and Chris Jericho making that announcement as well on his Twitter, that Owen Hart retains the Owen Hart Foundation. They're going to present the Owen Hart tournament where the winner of that tournament will receive a cup that's going to be known as the Owen. And don't know how it's going to look. Don't know who's going to be part of the tournament, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And maybe the winner of that one will also get an opportunity of a title. Doesn't matter. Probably doesn't matter what title they want to go after, but either way, it's a great news to have there, especially where it pertains to that whole thing going on too. Plus, Owen Hart merchandise is coming soon to all Elite Wrestling. Pertains to shop AEW.com. And we already got a lot of those merchandise already out there on Person Tees because of the whole thing with Dark Side of the Ring, but also because of the Owen Hart Foundation. And I'm so happy that they're doing that. Also, he'll be featured in the upcoming AEW console video game, where Owen Hart is going to be a playable character in All Elite Wrestling, and I cannot wait for that too. And as far as all the General Manager mobile game app, I haven't played the game yet, but I heard a lot of good reviews of it too and all. And I don't know if he's gonna be featured on there too. Like Brody, by the way, Brody Lee is featured in that one, and Brody Lee Jr. -1 is on there too. So I'm pretty sure Owen Hart will also be adding that too, because obviously, especially we got guys like CM Punk, Sting, Malachi Black, Andrade El Idolo, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Bebe. You got all these jam-packed stars, talents on your roster. Ruby Soho as well. And then you add Owen Hart into the mix. Like, that's a steal. Even we get the icon Sting involved, and this is obviously a huge deal pertains to that whole thing. Because it's been so long that the memory of Owen Hart in pro wrestling has been taken away from us after all these years, because Martha Hart will not allow that to happen. And these fans will be upset with her, and be honest with you, I was upset in that too, but not in a bad way, not in a way where I'll go out of my mind and go after her for that. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what it's like to be in her shoes after losing Owen Hart the way that his life was lost. But it's been but it pertains to that whole thing, it's been so long since we ever got to had that memory be remembered of Owen Hart, of his pro wrestling legacy. For what happened. And for AEW to do this with Martha Hart, and before AEW, by the way, where it tends to especially where it tends to Owen Hart go into the Hall of Fame, where people want to see Owen Hart into the WWE Hall of Fame, where obviously that's never going to happen, by the way, because and that's the reason why. I'll get to that part when I get to it, but where it tends to this other pro wrestling Hall of Fame that Owen Hart wasn't inducted to, when Martha Hart wants to make sure pertains to before she does anything with the name of Owen Hart being involved, she wants to interview them and basically ask them questions and everything, to see what you want out of this, what you get out of this. Unlike with WWE, they always want to get something out of all this, to do this whole thing, to do business. Other promotions, they're not about that. They're just about to pull over a great amateur, a pioneer, legendary wrestler in Owen Hart, of what he's done for the business. And doesn't matter if it was in WWF, or Stampede Wrestling, or New Japan Pro Wrestling, or any other promotions that Owen Hart has been in before. His life ended in the WWF, and again I'll get to that. But it's been so long, where it tends to that whole thing where Owen Hart has not been mentioned, but then where it tends to talking to the right people with Martha Hart, to give us this reason, what's the motive behind it, and what's the purpose, what you get out of this, at the end of the day, they're not getting nothing out of that. At the end of the day, it's just the honor, the legacy, the honor of the man, the wrestler in Owen Hart, and that's all it comes down to. So in a way, where Owen Hart being inducted into that Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, is a win for there, because at the end of the day, Doesn't matter if he wasn't in the Hall of Fame or not, which is to that Hall of Fame or the East Hall of Fame. He's Owen Hart is a Hall of Famer in all of our hearts. And to see that now with AEW doing all this with Owen Hart, and also there's also in talks where because Jericho talked with Martha Hart with this on Talk is Jericho at one point before they aired the area of what happened with Owen Hart on Dark Side of the Ring, which was last year, but where there could be also in talks where Martha Hart wants to do something with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is to honoring the legacy and the memory of Owen Hart too for New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, because Martha Hart was not known to be a wrestling fan. She was not known to find any interest in wrestling at all. She only got interest in wrestling because of she's supporting her man, her husband, in Owen Hart, and that's the only reason. After what happened with Owen Hart, she felt like she has no reason to get involved with the business of pro wrestling until obviously talking with the right people, about to do something with Owen Hart, to remember him by, is a plus. It's a win. And in either way, eventually we will see some when New Japan Pro Wrestling do something with Owen Hart. Right now it's not. I don't think right now is the right time because New Japan right now they're doing what's whole thing with COVID-19, where this it's gone bad in a way. Even though they were doing a great job at the time, but then all of a sudden they started falling apart ever since. But hopefully they'll get back to bounce back, and then eventually Martha Hart will go overseas there, and they to start something with his hands to remember Owen Hart of what he left in the business of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Where it tends to the best of the Super Juniors and everything. Where it tends to the whole thing being a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So that'll eventually will come. And now with AEW doing all this with Owen Hart is a great thing, which leads me to this, which is unfortunate. I mentioned this because minus the whole thing with Jericho posted, and then some actual fan on Facebook on the Wrestling Gods group chat, which I'm not part of that shit because especially after this announcement was made. But about Owen Hart has nothing to do with AEW and blah blah blah, and say what's next? Chris Benoit next? Go fuck yourself. First of all. Second of all, they're not gonna honor a man, like a Chris Benoit who killed his wife and his son, and then kill himself because he decided to take the easy way out. Meanwhile, with Owen Hart, that's more in depth with that one because, yes, I agree he has nothing to do with AEW. To me, it doesn't matter if Ring of Honor was doing this, if New Japan Pro Wrestling was doing this. Well, I won't count New Japan Pro Wrestling because Owen Hart was part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But if Ring of Honor was doing this, or TNA Wrestling at the time / Impact Wrestling, if they were doing this, to me it's a win. It'll be great, especially that Owen Hart at the end of the day is a pro wrestler. To me, when it comes to Owen Hart in WWF, I never look at him as a sports entertainer. They done some sports entertainment stuff, yes, but at the end of the day, to me, Owen Hart was a professional wrestler, and he was not a WWE guy, by the way. He may have worked in the company, before his untimely death. Which was unnecessary stuff that he should never been a part of, should never happen. But some people and I can't believe I'm talking about this too, but these type of deranged fools, these deranged motherfuckers, and believe me, there are a lot out there, which is pathetic of it own, especially which is a pro wrestling in the pro wrestling world of these pro wrestling fans. But these deranged motherfuckers posting nonsensical things, and you know, in the way they're talking about this too, like, pertains to the WWE owns Owen Hart, and they may have owned some, trademarks of Owen Hart, like the Rocket, um King of Hearts, which I thought at the time where I thought AEW may have trademarked that one, but I guess that wasn't the case because I think WWE demanded a lot of money for that. Whatever, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. That's just my theory. But they may own some certain trademarks of it. But at the end of the day, they don't own Owen Hart. Martha Hart owns Owen Hart, of the name of Owen Hart. Not saying that WWE can't mention the name of Owen Hart on the TVs, but pertains to the whole thing. But I'm pretty sure they're allowed to say Owen Hart, but pertains to own the name and all that, and the legacy and all that. Martha Hart owns that shit. At the end of the day, she does own that shit because she won the lawsuit of that, which I'll get a little more, just a tiny more of it when I get to it. But these people feel like they, that the WWE own Hart, like they own his soul. In their minds, in their warped, delusional, fucked up mind, they feel like they own this man, and no one is to utter his fucking name unless it's in WWE. And if anyone tries to to honor the man of Owen Hart or even mention his name, under the breath of Owen Hart, oh, what a terrible person that person is, and what a terrible company they are, and they're prostituting his name, and all that. Like that one dipshit on Twitter, which I'm gonna share photos and screenshots of it, and basically at least of our back and forth. And I'm pretty sure that's not going to end by the way. I don't know. If it continues, I'm just going to end it from there because at this point, it's not talking to this guy because, but this one motherfucker, this one dipshit, he tweeted saying, "Oh, I hope WWE sues Martha Hart and AEW over this shit." This is coming from a guy who, according to his bio, said that he's a finance manager. Good thing he won't do it in my fucking finances. Given that logic, WWE should sue AEW over this because they're honoring the man of Owen Hart. Like, this is the type of sick people that are out there. These are these type of dumbass dipshits, motherfucking sick fucks out there posting nonsensical shit that doesn't make any sense at all, losing their fucking minds because they have none of their own. They lost this a long time ago, so they don't know what to do themselves. These people are sick. These people, are deranged, or whatever you want to say. And you think they'll get the help that they need, or whatever, and all that, blah blah blah. There's no help in them, because apparently they lost all hope and logic out the window a long fucking time ago. Especially that one guy, like I already mentioned, the whole finance manager guy who lost a lot of weight. Well, apparently after losing that weight, he probably lost a lot of brain cells too. After that fucking logic, and the way he's been acting all childish, well, not just with me, but other people too, or tends to explain him with logics of this whole thing with AW and Martha Hart doing stuff for Owen Hart.
These nuts. Got him. Got him. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Shut up, bitch!
and then in their minds thinking about, oh, I don't understand why they want to do this with WWE. Oh, I can't imagine why they can't do this with WWE. I mean, yo, this is coming from a fan who watched them live on pay per view, even though they didn't show it because it was not in the it was not in fun to air something like that on their pay per view TV, whatever. But this is some, for instance, a Owen Hart fan like me, for AEW and Martin Hart to do this thing for Owen Hart, to pay tribute, to pay honor and homage to him, for a man who died in their ring, live on pay per view, be it an accident, die on their watch, continue the show, like whatever. Have Jim Ross announced that he's dead. You're on 5, 4, 3, 2. And Kevin Dunn telling Jim Ross to let everyone know at home, and not let anyone else know in the audience that were there live watching him fall to his fucking death. Did not let them know about the situation that he was dead. But continue on with the show, doing everything they did just to finally end it. Turned around and sued the widow and Mark Hart. And you people are wondering, I don't understand why she wouldn't want to work with them after all that. I can't figure that out. Why she would not want to do business with them afterwards. I mean, do these people I'm sorry, stumbling my words right now, but I'm upset because do these people even think what they say before they start spreading their disease? That's basically what I'm hearing. Spreading the disease to other people to agree with them or whatever. These other people that say these type of things, they're not real fans at the end of the day. And I don't know why they're still worried about pro wrestling when in their minds pro wrestling is dead. And no wrestling matters and no wrestling company matters other than WWE. Because if it's not the E, it's not for me. Shout out to Ren, by the way. That's always been his thing. If it's not the E, it's not for me. But guess what? I'm glad I'm glad it's gonna be the other way around for me because I don't care about what WWE does anymore. And I may have said that before in passing and everything, but I mean those stupid things I care about for WWE. But pertains to me giving them my money, fuck that. They don't deserve my money. And another thing too, these fans defending WWE and coming to WWE and basically let WWE in their defense because of what they're doing with Owen Hart to honor the man Owen Hart, like they're getting paid by WWE or they're gonna get something out of this. They don't give a shit about you. I don't know why I give a shit about them if they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about their fans. They only care about an audience of one, and that audience of one is Vince McMahon. The same Vince McMahon who went against Martin Hart's wishes to pertains to after the events of having Owen Hart, and he decided to go against those wishes. And so people cannot imagine why Martin Hart doesn't want to work with Vince McMahon and the WWE. I can't figure it out why. I really can't figure it out. Just be happy that Owen Hart is being remembered and being celebrated of everything that he's done in professional wrestling. As far as Chris Benoit, back to that dumb shit on Facebook, saying that shit, trying to be funny and everything, right? You could be a fan of Chris Benoit of his work. As a wrestler, he was great, the greatest of all time. As a person, after what he did all those final days, what he did to his wife and then his son, and then took the easy way out because he didn't want to face the consequences. Fuck him. He shouldn't be honored because of that. What an ignorant thing to say, and what an ignorant way, another ignorant childish act from these people on Twitter, by the way, pertains to this great news in pro wrestling history right now that Owen Hart is going to be featured in video games and merchandise selling, and a cup being honored by him. And on top of that, they went against Martha Hart again when they did the DVD of Heart of Gold, which I had not watched and I didn't buy it. At the end of the day, WWE don't deserve my money. They don't deserve any money pertains to prostituting Owen Hart. And saying some, and I don't know what was said on that DVD because I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I really don't care either. I can care less about what they say on that DVD pertains to praising Owen Hart for what they did and how they handled the whole situation with Owen Hart after his death was tasteless and shameful, disrespectful too as well. And so these people, I wish they get the help they get, but at the same time, they're at a lost cause. After those comments, it's a lost cause for those people. So I may end it on the positive here. I'm happy that Owen Hart is going to be in the video game. I am happy that Owen Hart is having his memory be remembered in another wrestling promotion that actually do care. I'm happy that they name a cup after Owen Hart, which is having this tournament for AEW. And there's more memories to come, to be celebrated for Owen Hart. New Japan, even when it pertains to any other companies, that pertains to AEW, with the whole Forbidden Door, it should come to that too, by the way. At the end of the day, all wrestling companies should get together with AEW in the honor of Owen Hart. And fuck WWE. And that's all I gotta say from there. So that being said, folks, thank you for watching. That's all I want to say from there. For It's the Natural Scary Thriller. Saying peace on the streets for you to be well, stay safe, take care of yourself and everything that's going on in the world. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, get vaccinated, love one another, God bless one another, live in peace and harmony for us all. Be respectful, be humble, be better, be appreciative, and be loved to all. And there you go, folks. You all take care. Ta-ta for now, for I am out here.